Hello there, you amazing viewers and subscribers, and welcome to a brand new Doctor Who related video for today. So in this video, I'm going to be ranking every single Dalek story I have seen. Now, I'm not going to include the Daleks Master Plan list because, yes, I have only seen the existing episodes in the Lost in Time box set. But I'm not really going to include them, I'm afraid, because I want to see it get animated, if it does ever get animated, or some special treatment further down the line. I'm waiting for that because I don't really want to talk about the Dykes Master Plan because they loose cannon stuff I don't really enjoy. I really don't like the loose cannons. I've got the CD of it. I've listened to the whole 12-part epic on CD. 5 hours long, and God blimey, sitting on your bed listening to that Dalek story for 5 hours. It's actually incredible. And everything else. So that's the only story that's going to be here. So diving into this, there are 25 places. So in 25th place, it is Daleks in Manhattan and Evolution of the Daleks. And this is a David Tennant story. This is the weakest Dalek story out of the David Tennant era in general. I actually consider this to be the weakest in the whole lot of the modern era. I just really don't enjoy this story. I mean, I like the setting in Manhattan in 1930s. I don't really think it could have been a Dalek story. I really think it could have been something else, another villain or something. I don't really think this is a good Dalek story. Again, Dalek becomes Dalek, the human Dalek, after he joins in with the human Davros. The only good thing about this Dalek story is it has got Andrew Garfield in it, who plays Peter Parker in the Amazing Spider-Man franchises and in Spider-Man No Way Home. So it does have Andrew Garfield in it, which is pretty good before he becomes Spider-Man. The rest of it is just not that great, really. I just really don't enjoy this story as much as most people do. I really consider this to be the weakest Dalek story out of the modern era in general. And I'm sorry to say that to anybody that enjoys Daleks Manhattan Evolution of Daleks, but I just can't really... I really consider this to be such a weak Dalek story. I really do. 24 is, of course, the Magician's Apprentice and the Witch's Familiar. Yes, the one where Davros opens his eyes and the 12th Doctor gives him regeneration, but not enough regeneration energy after he knows what Davros was planning and everything. So, yeah, this one is... I don't really know what to say about this two-part Dalek story. Yes, it's good to see the original Dalek casings, because we see some Daleks from the 60s, 70s, the 80s with the Special Weapons Dalek, as well as the 2005 ones. What can I actually say about this Dalek story? Not much. I'm sorry to say that. I just don't really enjoy this one as much. I do consider this to be the second weakest modern Doctor Who's Dalek two-part story. I really do, and I'm sorry to say that. 23 is, of course, Destiny of the Daleks from season 17. This is the weakest Dalek story, in my opinion, out for classic Doctor Who Dalek stories. I really consider this to be the weakest. I don't know what is about it. I do like the Movellans. I really think the Movellans is a good introduction for them, because they do become in Big Finish and they do appear in, of course, in series 10 when you enter the Dalek War with the Dr. Bernardo in the pilot. But there's something about this Dalek story I just turn off, really. I watch it. It's a good adventure for the 4th Doctor, but it's just something that doesn't really grip to a Dalek story. I mean, the Daleks are searching for Davros because they're losing the war with the Movellans. Again, it's a subplot into the next story for the return of the Daleks. I just don't really think it's a massive, great Dalek story. I just think that, I don't know if it's because the budget was being used for City of Death and, of course, Shada. This one does suffer a lot, but when you watch it in the Blu-ray in season 17, and you got this, like, the 5.1 surround sound for it, that's when it gets amazing. And, of course, the special effects for it as well is just absolutely great. But I just cannot watch this Dalek story. 22nd is, of course, the Day of the Daleks. Now, this is from season 9 for John Pertwee. Again, this one I just don't really enjoy as much. But when you watch it on the special edition version, God, that boosts this story up into a really great episode. But when you watch it on the original version I got on VHS and DVD, not so much. I mean, when you get to the bit where Unit is destroyed, like fighting against the Daleks and the Ogrons, you got them like walking towards them in the original, where you just got like 3 Daleks and you got Ogrons doesn't really look right for a good Dalek story. I mean, when you look on the VHS cover, you've got a Dalek and you've got tons of Daleks in the background of the VHS, but then it's only got like 3 Daleks. But then when you watch the special edition version that they made back in 2010, early 11, when you see they've actually got more Dalek props with Ogrons, you've got the Daleks literally just, you've got tons more Daleks. That's just great. Give me more Daleks. I don't want to see 3 Daleks. I don't want to see 4 Daleks. I want to see a whole Dalek army fighting against unit like we do in, of course, The Stolen Earth and Journey's End, which is later on this list. And that's it, really. And then, of course, 21 is Death to the Daleks from Season 11, 1974. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy this one a lot more than I enjoy Day and Destiny of the Daleks for Classic Who. This one, I have to say, I like the way they try and take away the Dalek weaponry. I tried to make the Daleks defenseless until they kind of get that machine gun added onto their normal weapons, and then the Daleks are back with weapons and they take over the species that inhabited the planet and stuff, and the Third Doctor's just there. I really do enjoy this story, and this is the great story for Sarah Jane as well, because this is her introduction to the Daleks, really, because she encountered the Daleks twice in Classic Who, and then she encountered them once in Modern Who. So basically, with the 3rd, 4th, and of course the 10th Doctor, Sarah Jane encounters the Daleks, Davros twice. So you do kind of have that for Sarah Jane, really. It's a good Dalek story for Sarah Jane to be in, especially when that Dalek gets into hissy fit when she escapes, and he goes, "I have failed, I have failed." I really do enjoy that bit. So, 20. In 20th place is, of course, Asylum of the Daleks. Now, the reason I put Asylum of the Daleks in, because I do enjoy it. I really think it's a great Dalek story. I like the return of the classic Daleks. I like the return of the modern Daleks. Like, even the Paradigm Daleks, they're in this one. Like, not all of them, but you do see the White Supreme Dalek and a couple of blue and red Daleks of these, so they basically get rid of the 2, like the orange and yellow ones, so they get rid of them. But I really do enjoy the story because, again, it's the Daleks looking for the Doctor for help. And, of course, Oswin Oswald, the version of Clara from the time stream, basically makes the Daleks to forget the Doctor. I would have kept this would have been very high up if it wasn't destroyed by the actual Time of the Doctor plot, where the Daleks remember the Doctor at the end because of Tasha Lem. Really, they shouldn't really get their memory back of the Doctor after Tasha Lem's memory, really, because the Daleks and the Doctor do have a lot of history together, and that's just the whole plot that just really bugs me, because it's like, oh, hang on, the Daleks have got a whole history with the Doctor. Oswin wiped all of their memories, so they really shouldn't have that memory of the Doctor until, oh, wait, remember you? How? You should even remember who I am. Their memories were conjured from Tasha Lem. He's like, what? I'm sorry, but what? That's enough topic. 19 is Resolution. Again, this is Jodie Whittaker's very first Dalek. So I always like it when we get a new Doctor encountering the Daleks for the very first time. And this is no exception. We actually have a Dalek mutant who puts itself back together, alerts the TARDIS, takes the 13th Doctor and the fam to go and investigate in Sheffield. A Dalek builds itself a new casing, aka the Junkyard Dalek casing. Really great stuff, and it proves again how deadly one Dalek can be. You don't need a whole Dalek battleground. It just absolutely shows how great and deadly one Dalek can do, how much damage. So I love the bit when you got the like missiles inside the Dalek casing, when it literally opens and the army's like, move! And it blows up the entire whole army base and the Dalek just flies away. I really do enjoy it. And I love the way the Doctor threatens that Dalek as well, the Recon Dalek, where she's there talking to her. Do you see, now you laugh at me, and he literally says, "Now do it again." I really do enjoy that story. 18 is, of course, Doomsday. Yes, I would have had Army and Ghost, but Army and Ghost is more of a Cyberman part of this 2-parter. The Daleks really don't come into it until Doomsday. This is the introduction story to the Cult of Skaro. Pretty much to enjoy this one a lot more than Daleks in Manhattan Evolution of Daleks. So when you see Daleks that use an emergency temporal shift. Now, when you get into the Genesis Arc bit and you've got that whole Dalek army just flying out of the Genesis Arc, where it's literally just there spinning around, it goes like that, throwing every single Dalek out there that the Time Lord's imprisoned. Fantastic stuff. And this is the departure of Rose. So, yeah, we finally get rid of Rose. So Rose goes bye-bye. I would have loved to see her go bye-bye at the end of Series 1. I really would have. I don't really like the lovey-dovey stuff in Series 2, but so I can't moan about that in this video. 17, it is the Daleks, the very first Dalek story, the second Doctor Who story in general, from 1964. Well, 1963 to 1964, because it was actually broadcast in December, and it finished airing in February 1963, 1964. Again, this is an introduction. This is the introduction story to the Daleks, and it is perfect. It shows how menacing they are, what they can do. We meet the Fowls, so when they're literally the Daleks trying to trick the Fowls to go into exterminate them. Brilliant stuff there. And I love how they think the TARDIS team literally thinks they destroyed all the Daleks and Skaro, because these ones run on static electricity. But then when we get to the show's future, I'm sorry to say this, but they don't. The Daleks are never really defeated. And this is a really great introduction story to the Daleks. This is, if you haven't seen this story, I do highly recommend it, and it's a good William Hartnell story. 16 is, of course, Victory of the Daleks. Yes, the 11th Doctor encounters the Daleks for the very first time. And not just any Daleks. He encounters the 3 surviving Daleks from the Starry Earth and Journey's End of the reality bomb. These Daleks survived the reality bomb, what the Meta-Crisis Doctor used to destroy the Crucible. They're feeling backwards in time to into World War II. Pretend to be Daleks, like, these Daleks pretend to be in, like, iron size, bracelets iron size, only to find a plot for the Doctor. So they know Winston Churchill's friends with the Doctor. They know he would have called the Doctor. So the Doctor goes to investigate, and then he encounters the Daleks, and you have that massive tantrum when he goes, "I am the Doctor, and you are the Daleks." And I really just enjoy that bit. And then, of course, when the Doctors go, "Correct. Testimony completed, testimony complete." I love when you got the Paradigm Daleks as well. I really do enjoy the way they just come in, and then they like try the Doctor's own brace, well, it is a bomb. And he goes, "This is the final end for you. If I let you go, you will just rebuild and carry on." Which, unfortunately, the Daleks do, but it's just a great story. I really do enjoy it. And it actually proves this is the one story the Daleks actually win against the Doctor. This is the first time in Doctor Who history the Daleks win, the Doctor loses. So between all the battles between the Doctor and the Daleks win once, the Doctor wins all the other times. Just absolutely great story as well. 15th place is the Stolen Earth and Journey's End. Again, the reality bomb, that thing is that Dalek ship back into World War II in the Victory of the Daleks. This story is brilliant. We've got the return of Davros since 1988. You have a Dalek Supreme for the very first time since that story as well. You got Dalek Khan, who's gone insane, going, "I flew into the wild and fire. I danced and died 1,000 times. The temporary shift. Talking back into the Time War unprotected." I really do enjoy this story. And when you see the Doctor's army, like the Children of Time, with Donna Rose is back in this one, but she's the reason the 10th Doctor gets exterminated, and he has to go on to regenerate, but he puts his regeneration into the spare hand, and then he gets into his 11th incarnation, really. So he keeps the same face, but he's into a new incarnation. I really do enjoy this story, and Sarah Jane, basically, the Daleks transport Earth away, and Sarah Jane's there, and when she hears Davros' voice, and she goes, "No, but he's dead." And he goes, "Welcome to my new empire, Doctor." I just really do enjoy this Dalek two-parter. The only thing that I think that's a bit stupid is the German Daleks that we have when they're flying. That's the only thing about it. 14 is, of course, Eve of the Daleks, the 2022 New Year's Day special, what we just had back early this year. Again, I really do enjoy this one. I love how much damaging one Dalek can do, and the way the TARDIS creates a time loop, or something creates a time loop, because the Doctors reset the times after everything that happened in Flux. And you got a new Dalek as well. We have a new Dalek gun as well, and the Dalek, I call it a Dalek machine gun, because when it exterminates, it's like a proper machine gun, and the Daleks, and it's good to see a Dalek got a proper machine gun and a proper upgrade as well, and it's hunting down the Doctor and the Yazdan and these two other people who you don't really care about, but they do end up getting together. It's just like, I don't really care about this, but yay for Daleks. And it proves how deadly one Dalek can do until it starts getting into like a multiple Dalek army, and they're hunting down each different time loop, and the Doctor does trick them, and they blow up and get out of the time loop. The TARDIS repairs, and the Daleks are there destroyed. I would have liked to see the Doctor kind of clean up the Daleks, casings, because the Dalek casings at the end of it is literally just spread over the place. It just proves the Doctor hasn't really learned after what happened in the end of Revolution, which basically happens in Revolution of the Daleks, which is another high up in this list. 13 is, of course, Into the Dalek. Peter Capaldi's 12th Doctor, in his second outing as the Doctor, encounters a Dalek, and not just any Dalek. It's Rusted the Dalek, because the Doctor has to shrink down, go inside this Dalek to find out what's making it think it's going good. So the Doctor repairs it, the Dalek goes evil, and the Doctor's there trying to make it change its mind. And it goes on, takes on the Daleks. Rusty does return in Twice Upon a Time as well. I really just enjoyed this story, and I love the way the Doctor just goes to this, and you saw the truth about the Daleks. I really do enjoy that episode. I really think Capaldi is great as the 12th Doctor in that episode. 12th place, it is of course Bad Wolf and Parting of the Ways. The Doctor is onside a game show which is being manipulated by the Daleks and the Dalek Emperor. The Dalek Emperor returns after being last seen in 1967 in, of course, The Evil of the Daleks. The Dalek Emperor returns, turning humans into Daleks, and the Doctor goes, that makes them half human. Those words are blasphemy. Do not blaspheme. Do not blaspheme. Everything human has been badged. I really do enjoy this story. Christopher Eccleston is brilliant as the Dykes. When the Dykes literally try to invade the game show to try and exterminate the Doctor, fantastic stuff. And the Doctor's just there building a Delta Wave weapon, and he literally puts his hands in the Dalek, goes, "What are you, Doctor? Coward or killer?" And he pulls, "Coward." And the Daleks are defeated because Rose opens up the time vortex. Basically, the programs the time to go back to the game station to save the Doctor at the very last minute, wipes all the Daleks out, even kills the Emperor Dalek, and the 9th Doctor basically kisses Rose, takes the time vortex out of her, and he goes off to regenerate into his next incarnation, because the time vortex basically destroys his body, where he could have got extended by the Daleks, I suppose. So she does save him, but then he goes and regenerates by saving her. Very great story, I do enjoy that one. 11th place, it is of course Planet of the Daleks. So we are on the planet Spyridon for this story. What are the Daleks after? They are after the power of invisibility from the alien species known as the Spyridons. Is this a good Dalek story? I love the bit when you got the volcano, and I love the bit when you got the Fowls are there trying to stop whatever the Daleks are planning, and then that girl Fowl comes in, she goes, "Somewhere on this planet there are 10,000 Daleks." That's really a great cliffhanger. And when you see the Doctor literally puts the bombs into the ice volcano, and he's like, "It didn't work," and the ice volcano explodes, and all the Daleks in the ice volcano, literally in hibernation, a secret Dalek army in hibernation, is flooded out by the ice volcano to never be activated again. And of course, we meet a brand new Dalek Supreme, which is very, very great. I do like this Dalek Supreme. I want it on figure. And I love the way he goes, "We have been defeated." No, we have not been defeated, it says. I can't remember what else it says. It's been a while since I watched the Dalek story. I really just do enjoy this Dalek story. The Dalek Supreme's awesome. And when that Dalek fails, and it's got very bad tempered, when it goes, "Yo, have failed," and it literally exterminates that one Dalek. It's just fantastic. Really enjoy it. Into the top 10 now. So jumping into 10th place, we have Revelation of the Daleks, which is, of course, the Colin Baker Dalek story. I really do enjoy this one. We're on Netcross. Davros is turning a colony of humans into food. So basically, they're sending their relatives into this kind of more place, and Davros is turning their dead relatives into food. So the whole planet population is being fed their dead relatives, which is very, very dark and stuff. And we do see a mutation of a new Dalek as well, when Natasha finds her father, and she goes, "Father," and he goes, "Kill me! Kill me!" I really do enjoy this story, and Colin Baker's brilliantly as the Dalek against the Daleks. Wish he had more. And then the return of the Daleks from Skaro comes into this episode as well to try and risk Davros. Fantastic stuff. 9th place is Resurrection of the Daleks, Peter Davison's Dalek story. The Daleks are hunting down Davros again because the 4th Doctor trapped him inside ice so he can be trialed and sentenced. And of course the Daleks go to rescue Davros and break him out of this prison and try and stop the Mephiles. Davros has another plan for the Daleks, so now time for the new Daleks. I do enjoy this Dalek story. I really think it gives the 5th Doctor and more of a darker nation, because he picks up a gun and goes, "Where are you going?" To kill Davros. It's something that the Doctor wouldn't really do. And the way you see the Fifth Doctor in his whole run, he's the man who believes there is another way. He doesn't need to kill and stuff, where his other past incarnations really kill to the last resort. Davison's Doctor just snaps at this in this story because he picks up a gun, about to march up to Davros, about to kill Davros. Davros talks him out of it. And then, of course, Davros dies, which is another good Dalek story. 8th place is The Evil of the Daleks, which was animated only last year. It's a great Dalek story. I really do enjoy it. The Dalek Emperor, we got 3 places for it. 1960s London, we have Victorian times, and then we go for the last 2 episodes, we are back on Skaro, where we meet the Dalek Emperor for the first time. The second Doctor is just brilliantly against the Daleks. Really do enjoy it. 7th place is, of course, The Power of the Daleks. We're on the planet Vulcan, not the one from Star Trek where that go live longer and prosper. This planet Vulcan is in the Doctor Who universe. And what can I tell you about this Dalek story? The Daleks are manipulating the whole humans, thinking that they're going to work for them. And in fact, when you kind of have like episodes later on, and then you've got the Daleks just marching out, the whole Dalek sequence is just fantastic. Really do enjoy it. Number 6 is, of course, The Chase. This is the first time the Daleks have time travel ability, and the chase after the Doctor and the TARDIS team for the past interferences. And it's just fantastic because you've got the Doctor and the TARDIS trying to run away from the Daleks, and the Daleks are just there chasing after them. I love that bit when you got the Dalek literally coming out of the sand, and it's just there going like that. It's just like coming out of that sand, the Dalek model. I really do enjoy the story. The chase is fantastic and stuff, and of course, it is Ina Barber's last story. Into the top 5 now. So in 5th place, we have got Revolution of the Daleks, the 2021 Christmas New Year's Day special. Yes, this one's fantastic because we have the return of the Spider guy from the Spider episode for Jodie's Doctor. We have the Reckinson's Daleks, and one Dalek is cloned. And of course, the Doctor has to call another race of Daleks to take out these Robertson's Daleks. And of course, she calls the SAS Daleks, the Death Squad Daleks. And then, of course, the Doctor sacrifices the TARDIS, which is something the Doctor wouldn't really do, but it's great to see something you wouldn't think the Doctor would do, but she actually does go and destroy a TARDIS. Absolutely great stuff. Number 4 is, of course, the Dalek Invasion of Earth. This is one of my favourite Hartnell Dalek stories. It's my all-time favourite Hartnell Dalek story. I really do enjoy this one. It's got Susan's departure. You've got the first Doctor saying that final speech. "One day, I shall come back. Yes, I shall come back. Until then, there must be no regrets, no tears, no anxieties. Just go forward in all your beliefs and prove to me that I'm not mistaken in mine." I do love it because the Daleks, when you got that Dalek coming out of the Thames, it's just another great scene as well. My third favourite Dalek story is, of course, Dalek from Series 1. Heckelson is encountered a Dalek for the very first time since the Time War. And it's fantastic. He gives that great speech where he goes, and Dalek's there trying to say that he is a soldier, he's waiting. And he goes, "But you're not going to get any. Not ever. I demand orders. Your race is dead. All of you, the entire Dalek race, wiped out in 1 second. You lie. I watched it happen. I made it happen. You destroyed us." I really do enjoy that little Dalek and Doctor hunt. And when the Dalek absorbs Rose's DNA and it mutates the Dalek. Just some great stuff as well. I really do enjoy Dalek. Into the top 2 now. Before I get into the actual top 2, I'm going to do a quick honourable mention because the Daleks have cameoed in some Doctor Who stories, and the one story I do really want to mention is, of course, The Day of the Doctor. It's not a proper Dalek story, but the Daleks are in it for the Time War stuff. It's great to see the Daleks in the Time War against John Hurt's War Doctor. I love the fact we have John Hurt literally piloting the TARDIS through a wall, taking out Daleks. Just absolutely fantastic. And when you see that Dalek fleet as well, and all the Doctors come to save Gallifrey, that's another great honourable mention. I really have to mention this one. So coming into the second place is, of course, as you can probably tell, it's going to be one of my favourite Semester McCoy stories. It is Remembrance of the Daleks. I really do enjoy this Dalek story. Dalek Civil War, 1960s London, looking for the Hand of Omega Time Lord weapon. The 7th Doctor manipulates the offence, programs the Hand of Omega to fly into Skaro's sun, turn it into a supernova, destroying Skaro, which basically starts the 7th Doctor's manipulation against the rest of the universe, which we see in season 26. But he manipulates the Daleks and later on the Summon in the season. And I absolutely love it, the way he literally manipulates the Daleks and Davros to use the Hand of Omega, try and get the Daleks to have power to time and space. and instead it just turns Skaro's sun into a supernova. Absolutely fantastic. And number one, my all-time favourite Dalek story is, of course, the genesis of the Daleks. I believe this is the very first act of the Time War, because the Time Lords have interfered by sending the Fourth Doctor back in time to Skaro to try and stop the Daleks from ever being created, or try and develop them into a nicer lot of race. Which, unfortunately, the Fourth Doctor basically fails, but the Daleks do still come about, but it will take them 1,000 years more. I really do enjoy this story. So this is my ranking of every single Dalek story. So let me know in the comments, how do you rank all of these Dalek stories? Do you agree with my opinion? Do you not agree with me? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Please do like, subscribe, and share. And join me for more awesome Doctor Who content videos. Have a great day.